Good morning. Very good. I'm Rodney Sampson, Chairman and CEO of Opportunity Hub out of Atlanta, Georgia. Excited to be with you this morning. I hope this will be one of the most disruptive conversations at VentureBeat and one of the most disruptive conversations as it relates to your respective life. I want to take a quick poll of the audience, and we have a short amount of time to cover a lot of ground today, and there's going to be an amazing day of workshops around this particular topic, and also there's going to be a reception as well that I hope you will join. When I say the word diversity, how does that make you feel? Just be honest. Somebody shout out. Thumbs up, thumbs down. All right, we're in a safe space, so you can be incredibly honest. What happens at VentureBeat in this session stays at VentureBeat, okay? When I say the word inclusion, how does that make you feel? Hopeful, okay. Some of you are like, what about equity? When I say the word equity, how does that make you feel? A little bit, all right. All right, let's go a little deeper. When I say the word racism, how does that make you feel? No one really wants to talk about that, right? What if I use the word racial equity? How does that make you feel? I want you to think about it just a little bit, all right? Getting some nods, I'm getting a little, yeah. A dream, all right. So speaking of a dream, one of my distant mentors, because I wasn't alive when he was, but Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in 1963, at the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, talked about a dream. And in that dream, he talked about the urgency of now. He also talked about a world, a cooperative, collective, collaborative world where everyone, everywhere, will have equitable access to opportunity. Now in 2019, some of us feel like that dream is still somewhat deferred. And I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to give you data, right? We're at an AI conference, and we know how data works. It's not like Febreze, like you just spray Febreze on it. Raggedy data, raggedy output, right? But let me give you some data. So by 2053, let's go into the future, the median wealth, and I'm talking assets minus liabilities, not income, the median wealth of a black family in America, and I'm going to say black, I'm going to say white, so y'all might as well just get used to it, all right? We're going to have a color brave, not one of these color invisible conversations. The median wealth, assets minus liabilities of a black family in 2053 will be 0. And by 2073, this is Pew Research data. I'm wearing my Brookings hat now. I'm not just making this stuff up. By 2073, for Latinx Americans, 0. Now today, the median wealth of a white American family is over $170,000. For Asian Americans, $100,000. If I could walk all the way to the Bay, for Latinx Americans, $20,000. And for black Americans, less than $17,000, which is about the cost of a good funeral on a good day, not with the birds and all the marching bands. You get the impact? So that's what the median wealth in our country is today for those demographics. But by 2053, we seem to be sliding down. Why? Automation, machine learning, quantum computing, future of work, fourth industrial revolution. And so at Opportunity Hub, we've created a platform called DAIS, which I'll introduce to you very quickly. I do not want to appeal to your moral character of why diversity, equity, and inclusion is important in our society. Why is it important in technology, in the startup ecosystem, in the venture world? but I want to appeal to your economic constructs. McKinsey released a report that said when there are women on a decision-making product team in a company, the economic output is 15% greater. So as a limited partner in a venture fund or a fiduciary of a company that is held responsible for economic output, economically, we have a fiduciary to work tirelessly to include more women on our teams. McKinsey also went to say that with ethnic minorities on decision-making teams, 35% increase economic output. And that means addition to the team, not exclusion from the team. And true inclusion pulls on the wisdom, the access, the privilege, the opportunities that we all can bring to the table. But what equity does, it allows each individual person to feel empowered to create their own table and invite others to that respective table. So when we say DAIS, diversity, equity, inclusion as a strategy, whether you are a two-person startup or you have 100,000 team members in your respective company, this is how you operationalize this in your company really quickly. You first have to look at your corporate governance. Who's on the cap table? Who owns the company? Who are the fiduciaries? Who leads the respective committees? Who's in the C-suite? Who's in management? What are the policies and procedures that are put in place that allow everyone to feel welcome and to show up every day in their most authentic self? The next area to operationalize this in your organization is in human resources. But it starts with corporate governance and it moves to HR. How do you attract the brightest and the best from around the world to your respective organization? Are you hiring from historically black colleges and universities? Are you hiring from Hispanic serving institutions? Are you hiring from tribal colleges? Are you hiring from coding boot camps and other alternative areas? Do you have workforce development programs? And when you bring those people into your talent ecosystem, are you working to mentor, to sponsor, and to promote them to cut on attrition? The next area is procurement. Large companies, they hire other companies to do business. And so you can advance DAIS inside of your community, your ecosystem, by hiring women-owned, minority-owned, veteran-owned, Pan-Asian-owned, LGBTQIA-owned companies as vendors of your respective company. The next area is corporate innovation. We are here on the edge. Many of us exist on the edge. And we have an imperative to ensure that we have not just diverse voices and diverse dialogue and diverse opportunities, but also diverse developers actually building the algorithms and building the products that actually go to market. And so your ability to fund accelerators and entrepreneurship programs and centers of excellence that are inclusive are incredibly important. Next is go-to-market. How are you marketing your company's products and services to ensure that you're reaching new target markets that you may have blind spots to? If you want to create an unfair advantage as it relates to your respective market share, carve out a market that doesn't exist. And finally, social impact. What does your philanthropy look like? What does your corporate social responsibility look like to ensure that communities that have been traditionally left behind receive the early exposure, the training, the early career opportunities, the early investment opportunities? And I believe that it is this way forward, not just in our companies, but in our spaces, our fields, our ecosystems, globally, nationally, and hyper-locally, that will allow us to achieve equity for everyone, everywhere. Thanks for attending my TED Talk.